Now, there is one more issue I'd like to point our attention to. Now that we all agree that the old man couldn't hear the boy say out
I
loud,
disagree. Let him go through with it anyway.
but even if he did hear them say those words, how many times has each of you used it, you know? I'm going to kill you. Junior, you do that once more, I'm going to murder you. Go on, Rocky, kill him. We say it every day, but it doesn't mean that we're actually going to kill somebody.
Don't the circumstances alter that somehow?
The old man was murdered.
And one more thing. The phrase was, I'm going to kill you. And the kid screamed it at the top of his lungs. That's the way I understand it too. Don't try to tell me he didn't mean it. Anybody that says a thing like that the way he said it, they mean it.
And how they mean it.
Alright, let me ask you this then. Do you honestly believe that a kid would shout out a thing like that for the whole neighborhood to hear? No, I don't think so. He is much too bright for that.
Right? He's a common ignorant slob. He don't even speak good English.
He doesn't even speak English. The boy is clever enough.
Excuse me. I'd like to change my vote to not guilty.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Then the vote is 9-3 in favor of guilty.
I'd like to know why you changed your vote.
I think there's doubt.
Where? What is the doubt?
Well, there's the lie.
Oh, fine! He talked you into believing a fairy tale.
Oh, give us some reasons.
The old man, too. Maybe he didn't lie, but then just maybe he did. Maybe he doesn't like the kid.
Well, if that isn't the end.
I believe there's a reasonable doubt.
And what are you basing it on? The story is this guy made up. You should write for a detective role to make a fortune. Listen, the kid had a lawyer, right? Why didn't his precious lawyer bring him all these points?
Lawyers can think of everything.
God, you sit in here and pull stories out of thin air. Now we're supposed to believe that the old man didn't get out of bed, run to the door and see the kid fleeing downstairs 15 seconds after the killing.
That's going to be that.
And the old man swore to this. Yes, he swore to this, just so he could be important.
Did the old man say he ran to the door?
Ramble. What's the difference? You got there.
I don't remember what he said, but I just don't see how he could run.
No, he said he went. I remember it now. He said he went from his bedroom to the front door. Well, that's enough.
Where was this bedroom again?
Down the hall somewhere.
Down the hall somewhere. I'm going to send the boy off to die because it's down the hall somewhere.
I thought you remembered everything. Don't you remember that?
No, I don't. I don't remember either. Mrs. Morlady, I'd like to see the diagram of the apartment, please.
Why do we have that run the trial over just so you can get everything straight?
The bedroom is down the hall somewhere. Now, can you tell me where exactly it is? Please, there is a lie at stake here. Do you know? Mrs. Morlady.
I heard you.
Okay, what's this one for? How come you are the only one in the room who wants to see exhibits all the time?
I want to see this one too.
So do I. And I want to stop wasting time.
Are we going to start wading through all that nonsense about where the body was found?
No, we are going to see how a man who's had 2 strokes in the last 3 years and who uses 2 canes to walk could get to his front door in just 15 seconds.
He said 20 seconds.
He said 15.
How does he know how long 15 seconds is? How can you even judge a thing like that?
Well, he said 15 and he was very positive about it.
He's an old man. You saw that. Half the time in the court he was confused. How could he be positive about anything? You know.
No, we don't know, but perhaps you know.
This is what you wanted?
It is. Thank you.
Sure. Doing my job.
On this?
Yes, thank you.
Do me a favor, wake me up when it's over.
I looked at that diagram for 2 hours. Enough is enough.
Some of us are interested, though.
Are you ready? Alright, so this is the apartment in which the killing took place. The old man's apartment is directly beneath it and exactly the same. Now, here are the L tracks. This is the bedroom, another room, living room, bathroom, kitchen. This is the hall, and here are the steps. The old man was in his bedroom, which is here. It says he got up, walked out into the hall, walked down the hall to the front door, and opened it just in time to see the boy run down the stairs. Am I right?
That's the story.
That is what happened.
15 seconds after he heard the body fall.
Correct.
Look, the old man was in his bed, just here by the window. From the bed to the bedroom door, that's like 12 feet. The length of the hall is 43 feet and 6 inches. The old man who had to get up, get his canes, walk out into the hall, then walk down the hall, which is 43 feet, and open the front door, all in 15 seconds. Do you think that that's possible?
You know it's possible.
I don't see why not.
He would have been in a hurry. He did hear me scream.
The old man could walk only very slowly. They had to help him into the witness chair.
You make it sound like a long walk when it's pretty not.
For a man who uses canes, it is a long walk.
What are you doing?
Well, we're going to test this. We're going to see how long it actually took him. I'm going to pace off 12 feet, the length of the bed.
Oh, you're crazy. How can you even do a thing like that?
Perhaps if we could see this is an important point.
It's a ridiculous waste of time.
Let's do it. I can't see any harm in it. Foolish, but go ahead.
Could you pass me that chair?
Sure.
Thank you. So, this is the front door. Now, how far would you say it's from here to the window?
About 20 feet?
Just about.
20 feet is all right. So, from here to the window and back, that's 40 feet. That's even shorter than the length the old man had to walk through, am I right?
Few feet, maybe.
Look, this is absolutely insane. What makes you think you can do this?
We can't stop him.
Would you mind if I try this? According to you, it will only take 15 seconds. I think we can spare that. Okay. Who's got a watch with a second hand?
I have.
Great. So, stand your foot when you want me to start. That will be the body falling.
And we'll time it from there.
Exactly. Okay, let's say he keeps his canes at the bedside.
Right.
I'm ready.
I'm waiting for the hand to get to 60.
Speed it up. You go twice as fast as that.
I think this is even more creepy than the old man walking.
You want me to go faster? I will.
Yeah, speed it up a little.
Stop.
Right.
What's the time?
39 seconds exactly.
I don't believe this.
29 seconds. That's interesting.
What do you think of that?
And the old cripple saw on his own that it was 15. He may have been a little bit off on the speedy. Old cripple. Okay. 24 seconds. I'll have it now.
Far be it from me to call anyone a liar, and even considering the difference in speed between the old man and you, why, still there's
Quite
quite
a discrepancy.
Exactly. It is my guess that the old man was trying to get to the front door. He heard somebody race down the stairs and assumed it was the boy.
I think it's possible.
Well, assume? Now listen to me, you people. I've seen all kinds of dishonesty in my life. But this little display takes the cake.
What dishonesty.
Tell him, you come in here with your heart bleeding all over the floor, talking about slumping and injustice, and you have a bunch of soft-hearted old ladies listening to you. Well, guess what? I'm not. I am getting real sick of all of you. What's the matter, you people? This kid is guilty. He's got to burn. We are letting him slip through our fingers.
Our fingers? Are you his executioner?
I am one of them.
Well, then perhaps you'd like to pull the switch.
For this kid, you better like to pull the switch.
You know what? I'm sorry.
Oh, don't start
You know
with
what it
me.
must feel like to want to pull the switch.
You shut your mouth.
You, sir, are a sadist.
Shut up.
You want to see this boy die because you personally want it, not because of the facts.
Shut up.
You disgust me.
Let me have it. I'll kill him. I'll kill him.
Oh, you don't really mean you'll kill me, do you?
Is everything all right? Why you're shouting?
There's nothing wrong. Actually, you can take this back.
see why we have to behave like children here. Nonetheless, we have a responsibility here. Oh, this is a remarkable thing about democracy, that we are notified by mail to come down to this place to vote on a guilt or innocence of a man we have not known before. We have nothing to gain or to lose by our verdict. This is one of the reasons why we are strong. We should not make this a personal.
Thank you very much.
Why do you think?
We forget. It's good to be reminded.
I'm just glad we're going to be civilized about this.
We're still nowhere.
No, we are somewhere. Or at least getting there. Maybe.
What's next? I think we should try another road. Mrs. Forlady?
It's all right with me. Anybody doesn't want to vote?
Let's vote. Okay, but I want an open ballot. Let's call up our vote. I want to know who's where.
Sounds fair. Anyone object? All right. I'll call your jury numbers. I vote guilty. Number 2.
Not guilty.
3.
Guilty.
4.
Guilty.
5.
Not guilty.
6.
Not guilty.
7.
Guilty.
8.
Not guilty.
9.
Not guilty.
10. Guilty. 11.
Not guilty.
And 12.
Guilty.
That's 6 to
You know
6.
what? The crime is being committed right in this room.
I am ready to walk into court and declare a hung jury. There is no point in this going on anymore.
I'd like to know why you changed your vote, actually. Why you did. Why you did. There are 6 people in this room who think that we may be turning a murderer loose in the street. A motion won't do.
It would seem that the old man did not see the boy run down the stairs, and I don't think it's likely that he heard the scream, "I'm going to kill you." Old man dreamed, but if he did hear the scream, "I'm going to kill you," then we have the authority of this gentleman here to prove that saying so doesn't really mean he's going to kill.
Look, why don't we take you to the judge and let the kid take his chances with 12 other people?
6 to 6. I don't think we'll ever agree on anything.
It's got to be unanimous. We are never going to convince him.
At first, I was alone. Now 5 others agree. There is a doubt.
You can never convince me that there is any doubt, because I for a fact know there is no doubt.
Listen, maybe we are a hung jury. Let's just...
No, we are not a hung jury.
But we are right now. A perfect balance. Let's take the judge.
There's a reasonable doubt. I don't see it.
Doubt is there in my mind.
Maybe we should vote.
What now?
Not again.
I still want to know vote on what.
Are we or aren't we a hung jury?
You mean vote yes, we are a hung jury, or no, we're not a hung jury?
That's just what I was thinking of.
We can't even agree whether or not a veto should be offered.
Let's begin the majority. The majority wins.
So we have 7 or more of us voting yes that we are a hung jury. We take it in to the judge and tell him that we are a hung jury.
Right, and if 7 or more vote no, that means that we are a hung jury. And we go on discussing.
It just doesn't seem quite right to me.
It's the only solution.
I agree. It's the only way.
Literally anything to end this.
Are we agreed then? 7 or more vote yes, and we take it into the judge.
But I want an open ballot. Let's call our vote.
Right. I vote yes. We are a hung jury. Number 2,
No.
3,
Yes.
4,
Yes.
5,
No.
6,
No.
7,
Yes.
8,
No.
9,
No.
10,
Yes.
11,
No.
12,
Yes.
Come on.
6 to 6.
We can't even get a majority to decide whether or not we're a hung jury.
I went along with the majority vote on this question. I didn't really agree with voting that way, and I still don't. So I'm changing my vote. I say no, we are not a hung jury. I still think the boy is guilty beyond reasonable doubt, but there are some things I want to find out from those people who change their minds.
Then we are a hung jury. So we go on.
It's good, we go on.
So why did you change your mind?
Well, he seems so sure, and he's made a number of reasonable points, while he only gets upset and insults everybody.
So does the anger and the insult change the guilt of the kid? He did do it though. Are you going to turn a murderer loose just because one of the jurors gets angry when he thinks a murderer is being turned loose?
That's true, but
There is a
I
doubt.
don't think so. The train is straight in front of the window once they happened. So the L train would have made a low rumbling noise. L trains only scream when they go around curves. So the old man might have heard a scream which is high pitched, and it is tenement that have thin walls.
Yes, that's it.
Now, what if the old man was wrong on how long it took him to get to the front door, but right about whom he saw running down the stairs? Please remember, there weren't any fingerprints, and it's summer, so gloves seem unlikely.
Now I want you to listen to this man.
Now, it might have taken the murderer a few seconds to get a handkerchief out and wipe away all the fingerprints.
That is a point, yes.
Why don't we just time this one out?
Just what are we timing?
Yes, let's be exact, please.
I'm saying that what if the old man was wrong on how long it took him to get from his bedroom to the front door, but right about when he saw running down the stairs. Now, it might have taken the murderer about 39 seconds to get a handkerchief out and wipe away all the fingerprints. Then he had to run down the hall and down the stairs where the old man saw the boy.
This is right.
We reconstructed the old man getting out of the bed and going to the door. Right? Every time. Now let's reconstruct the actual crime.
As well as we can reconstruct.
I think a murderer could use up 30 or 40 seconds pretty easily at that point.
Let's reconstruct the killing.
Yes, let's.
Okay. Here, why don't you do it?
No, I'll do it.
And why don't you be the one that gets stabbed? You're pretty. Make a fine work. And don't forget to take 1 second to fall.
He was found on his side, his right side. So you need to fall and roll onto your right side. If someone hates another person enough to kill them, don't you think it's also reasonable not to suppose that they would look at their victim for a second or two?
You have to distance yourself from this case. It's human nature.
Well, yes, it sounds reasonable.
Wait a minute. She falls and she ends up on her right side. The father did it, but stabbing someone isn't like shooting, right? So the father, lying there on the floor, would have probably worked around for a few seconds. Right?
That's quite possible, actually. There would have been enough oxygen in his system to carry him for another 2 or 3 seconds, I should think.
And wouldn't the father have cried out?
Well, maybe the kid held his mouth.
That also seems possible.
Also, there's another point that we may bring out. Anyone who is clear enough mentally to wipe the fingerprints away after murdering someone, well, that person is also clear mentally to look around the apartment, or the room in this case, to see if there are any other possible clues. Now, it would take just a second or two, I should think, but he would still look.
This is better and better.
We're trying to make it clear. One doesn't talk about quality when murder is involved. Let's get to it.
About this on the fingerprints. The kid wiped the fingerprints of the knife. Well, what about the donor? If I saw a man coming into my home, a man that hated me, and if he was wiping the doorknob with a handkerchief as he came in, well, it would definitely give me an uneasy feeling. So the doorknob must have been wiped after the killing, and this too will take some time.
Okay, you timed the last one. Why don't you time this one too?
All right.
So, send your food when you want me to start.
I'll wait for the hand to get to 60.
I'm going to kill you. I look around. Alright. And he would have wiped both doorknobs. So, some time. And stop.
Right. 29 and a half seconds, I suppose.
And whoever did murder the father, and I still think it was the boy, well, they still had to run down the hall and down the stairs, at least 1 flight of stairs.
You see?
He saw it. Now, so what if the old man was wrong on how long it took him to get to the front door? Frankly, in view of this, I think it's quite reasonable to assume he did see the kid run downstairs.
So now both time sequences check, right? The one you did with the old man getting out of bed, and the one they did with the reconstruction of the crime. And it does check out on times.
Sure. The old man wants attention. He's probably right, but he feels the same way
told that it was only 15 seconds.
And we seem to all agree that it was 20 to 40 seconds later.
So you are now admitting that the old man lied in one case and told the truth in the other. Yes, I do agree that this tends to confirm the old man's story, but he is in part now a proven liar, and that's by your own admission.
Maybe it's true that the old man lied in part, but I think this will still make me change my vote. Guilty.
Okay, okay. What about you? What do you think now?
I don't know. I want to talk some more. At first, I thought guilty, then I changed, but now in view of this, I'm leaning back towards guilty.
Okay. What about you?
No, I am now in a real doubt.
I say guilty. I was right the first time.
Now we're beginning to make some sense here.
It seems to be about 9 guilty and 3 not guilty.
One more question about the old man downstairs. How many of you live in apartment buildings?
I do not know what you are thinking, but I know what I am.
What's that?
I do not live in a tenement, but it is full. And there is just enough light in the hallway so you can see the stairs, the light bulbs. And this murder took place in a tenement. Do you remember how we stumbled on the stairs?
Yes, the police officers, they were using big bulbs, and one even had a flashlight, remember?
An old man who misjudged the timeline, then seconds, and we all agreed on this. So this old man looked down the dark hallway and recognized the running figure.
He was 100% wrong about the time. It must have been at least twice as much.
So could not this same man be 100% wrong about whom he saw?
That is the most idiotic thing I have ever heard. You are pulling stuff out of thin air.
Do you truly feel that there is no room for a reasonable doubt?
Yes, I do.
I beg your pardon, but maybe you do not understand the term reasonable doubt.
What do you mean I don't understand it? Who do you think you are to talk to me like that? You come over here, running for your life, and before you can even say hello, you're telling us how to run the show? The nerve!
No one here is asking where anyone came from.
I was born right here.
Where your father came from.
Perhaps it wouldn't hurt us to take a few tips from people who come running here. You know, perhaps he has learned something we don't know. We are not so perfect.
Oh, please, I am used to this. It's all right.
But it's not all right.
Okay. I apologize. Is that what you want?
Yeah, that's what I...
Alright, let's stop the
Arguing. You're
Who has
wasting
something
time.
constructive to say?
Well, something has been bothering me a little. It's the whole business about the stab wound and the way it was made, the downward angle of it, you know?
Don't tell me we are going to go over that again. They went over it over and over in the court.
I know they did, but you see, I don't go along with that because the boy was 5 feet 8 inches tall and his father was 6 feet 2 inches tall, and that's a difference of 6 inches. And it must be a very awkward thing to stab downward into the chest of somebody who is half a foot taller than you.
Okay. So you are not going to be happy until you see this again. I'm going to give you a little demonstration. Get up. Watch closely because I do not want you to do this a second time. Is that 6 inches?
That's more than 6 inches.
A little bit more.
That's not funny.
What's wrong with you? Okay, now everybody calm down. Nobody got hurt, did they?
Nobody got hurt.
But there's your angle. Down and in. That is how I was done with all that, and that is how it was done. Take a good look at it. Tell me I'm wrong.
Down and in, I guess there's no argument.
Did you ever stab a man?
Of course not.
Did you?
Did you? No, I didn't.
Then where do you get all your information about how it's done?
Common sense.
Have you ever seen a man stabbed?
No.
Well, let me ask you this then. This kid has been, or is still, an experienced knife fighter. He was sent to reform school for knife fighting, isn't that so?
Right.
Well then, Doesn't this seem like an awkward way to handle a switch knife?
Are you asking me?
Wait, just give me the knife.
Have you ever seen a knife fight?
Yes, actually, I have.
In the movies?
In my backyard. My in the vacant lot across the street. Too many of them. Switch knives came with the neighborhood where I lived. It's funny that I didn't think of it before. I guess you try to forget those things. Anyone who's ever used a switch knife would never have stabbed downward. You just don't use a switch knife that way. You use it underhand.
Okay, so he couldn't make the kind of wound that killed his father.
Well, I suppose it's conceivable he could have made a wound, but it's unlikely, not if he ever had any experience with switch knives. And as we know, the kid had a lot of experience with them, so
I don't believe this.
Neither do I. You're giving us a lot of mumbo jumbo.
What do you think?
I don't know.
What about you?
Listen, I'll tell you all something. I'm a little sick of this whole thing already. We're getting nowhere fast. Let's just break it up and go home.
No, before we move on. I'd like to try and pull this all together.
No, this should be good. He has a right. Let him go ahead.
Wait, no, I think I know what you're trying to do. You know, in ad agencies, we have to mix things up a bit and see if it's a hit or a miss. Go ahead.
Yes, exactly. Look, I want all of you to look at this logically and consistently.
Oh, we have. Guilty.
I have one question. Is the kid smart or is he dumb?
What do you mean?
Well, this is a kid who's been sent to reform school. The night of the murder, he went out and bought a switch knife. It would then take a very stupid person to go and murder somebody, his own father at that, with an instrument that everybody would associate with a kid.
Oh, I quite agree. The kid is dumb.
But then why did he make the kind of wound that an inexperienced knife fighter would make?
I'm not sure I understand this.
Look, to murder somebody must take great emotion, great hatred. And at that moment, he would handle the knife as best as he could. And as a trained knife fighter, he would do it the way he had been trained, underhand. An inexperienced man would go overhand. This kid is being very smart. You know, everybody knows that he is an experienced knife fighter. So he makes the kind of wound an amateur would make. That man is a smart man. You know, so smart that he remembers to wipe off the fingerprints. Perhaps even so smart that he waits for the L train to go by in order to cover the noise. So is the kid smart or is he dumb?
Hold up.
The woman who crossed the L tracks, if she saw the murder through the L train, maybe somebody on that L train could have seen the murder too.
A possibility, but nobody did that we know of.
And it would take an awfully dumb man to do the murder as the train went by.
Exactly, a dumb man. A very stupid man. A man swept by emotion. You know, probably he heard nothing. He probably didn't even hear the train coming, and whoever killed the father did it as best as he could.
So,
This kid does everything in his power to associate himself with a switch knife. He is so dumb to do this, but then, a moment before the murder, he becomes smart. You know, he makes the kind of move that will lead us to believe that somebody else did the killing. But then after the murder, again, he's dumb. So dumb that he commits the murder while the L train is going by. You know? And then smart again. So smart that he remembers to wipe off the fingerprints. To make this boy guilty, you'd have to say that he is dumb from 8 o'clock until about midnight. Then at about midnight, he becomes smart for 1 second, then dumb for a few seconds, and then smart, and then dumb again. So dumb that he cannot think of a good alibi. So is he smart or is he dumb? To say that the boy is guilty, you have to toss his intelligence like a pancake. There is doubt, there is doubt, there is doubt.
I hadn't thought of that.
And the old man downstairs. On the stand, he swore that it was 15 seconds. He was absolutely positive about 15 seconds. But we all agree that it must have been at least 40.
Does the old man lie half the time, and then the other half of the time does he tell the truth?
To say that the boy is guilty, you have to say that he is dumb, then smart, and then dumb, and then smart again, and so on and so on. And also, for a kid to be guilty, you have to say that the old man is lying half of the time, and then the other half of the time he's telling the truth. You can reasonably doubt.
I'm sold on reasonable doubt.
I think I am too.
I want another vote.
All right, there's another vote called for. I guess the quickest way is to show of hands. Anyone object? All right. All those voting not guilty, raise your hands. Nine. Now, all those voting guilty. Three. The vote is 9-3 in favor of acquittal.
I don't understand you people. How can you believe that this kid is innocent? Look, you know how those people lie. I don't have to tell you. They don't know what the truth is. And let me tell you, they don't need any real big reason to kill someone either. You know, they got drunk and bam, someone's lying in the gutter. Nobody's blaming them. That's how they are. You know what I mean? Violent. Human life don't mean as much to them as it does to us. Where you're going? Look, those people are drinking and fighting all the time, and if somebody gets killed, so somebody gets killed. They don't care. They don't. Oh, sure, there are some good things about them too. I mean, I'm the first to say that. I know a few who were pretty decent, but that's the exception. Most of them, it's like they have no feelings. They can do anything. And what's going on here? I'm speaking my mind and you will listen to me. They're no good. There's none of them is any good. We better watch out. Just take this from me. This kid on trial. What? Don't you know about it? Listen to me. I'm trying to say something and you will.
That's just enough. You need to sit down and shut up.
Just say.
All right, everybody, sit down. I still think the boy is guilty of murder, and I'll tell you why. To me, the most damning evidence was given by the woman across the street who claimed she actually saw the murder committed.
That's right. As far as I'm concerned, that's the most important testimony.
All right, let's talk about her testimony. What exactly did she say?
I believe I can recount it accurately. She said she went to bed at about 11 o'clock at night. Her bed was next to the open window, and she could look out of the window while lying down and see directly into the window across the street. She tossed and turned, unable to fall asleep for over an hour. Then, finally, at about 12:10, she turned towards the window, and as she looked out, she saw the boy stab his father. As far as I'm concerned, this is unshakable testimony.
That's what I'm saying. That is the whole case.
Frankly, in view of this, I don't see how you can all vote for acquittal. What do you think?
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of evidence to sift.
What do you mean you don't know? He's absolutely right. You can throw out all the other evidence.
I don't deny the validity of points he's made. Shall we say that on one side of tracks there is doubt? But what do you say about this woman and her story? She saw it.
What time is it?
10 minutes of 6.
Oh, you don't suppose they'll just go home now and finish in the morning? I've got a sick child at home.
Not a chance.
Wait a second. You cannot see the clock without your glasses.
Not clearly, no.
Oh.
Glasses are nuisance, aren't they?
Let me ask you something. What do you all do when you wake up at night? I want to know what the time is.
Well, I put my glasses on and then I look at the clock.
I just wait for my clock to chime. It's no clock my father gave it to us when we married, my wife and I. It was long before we had a place for it.
You don't wear your glasses to bed, right?
Of course not. Nobody wears eyeglasses to bed.
Well, the woman who testified that she saw the killing wears glasses. What about her?
Did she wear glasses?
Of course she did. She was before cups. They seem pretty strong.
That's right, my vocals. She never took them off.
Funny, I never noticed that.
I think it is logical to say that she wasn't wearing her glasses in bed. And I also don't think that she would put them on to casually glance out of the window. Now, perhaps she honestly thought that she saw the boy stab his father. I say that she only saw a blur.
How do you know what she saw? Maybe she's farsighted. How does he know all these things?
Is there anybody here who still still thinks there is no reasonable doubt?
I will always wonder, but there is a reasonable doubt.
Well, I think the kid is guilty.
Does anybody else?
No. I'm convinced now. There is a reasonable doubt in my mind.
You're alone.
11 votes guilty.
I do not care whether I'm alone or not. I have a right.
Yes, yes, you do have a right.
Well, then I think the kid is guilty. What else do you want from me?
Your arguments.
I gave you all my
We
arguments.
are not convinced. We want to hear them again. We have time.
What's wrong with you? You are the guy. You made all the arguments. You cannot turn back now. A murderer is going to be turned loose in the street. Maybe he'll do it again. Stay with me.
I'm sorry. I'm convinced. I don't think I'm wrong of this. I guess I was this once. There is a reasonable doubt in my mind.
We're waiting.
You are not going to intimidate me. I am entitled to my opinion. It is going to be a hung jury, and that's it.
Well, there is nothing we can do about that. Except hope that one day, perhaps in a few months, well, you might get some sleep.
You were all alone.
It takes a great deal of courage to stand alone.
And if there's going to be any trial, some of us are going to point out these things to various lawyers.
They're waiting. Not guilty.
Not guilty.
But still, there are 3 remaining persons whom especially prepared to belong. First is Acid,